Welcome to Hot Drama TV.
How did Ouyang Didi persuade Liu Yuning? In a recent hit variety show, the collaboration between Liu Yuning and Ouyang Didi drew widespread attention. Not only did they perform the touching song Portrait together, but they also left viewers laughing with an off-show cute acting dance video. In the clip, Liu Yuning, usually known for his tough, straightforward image, actually cooperates with Ouyang Didi in performing an adorably clumsy, cutesy dance. Netizens couldn't help but ask, how on earth did Ouyang Didi persuade Liu Yuning to do that? In fact, behind this seemingly spontaneous interaction lies the trust and chemistry the two gradually built on the show. At first, Liu Yuning came across as reserved, even a bit hard to deal with. Having fought his way up from a street singer to a top-tier artist, he is used to letting his abilities speak for themselves, rarely showing vulnerability and seldom engaging in variety show antics. Ouyang Didi, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. Energetic, quick-witted, and skilled at easing awkward moments with sincerity and humor. Their personalities seemed worlds apart, yet sparks unexpectedly flew during their collaboration. According to on-site staff while rehearsing Portrait, Ouyang Didi repeatedly took the initiative to communicate details with Liu Yuning. She carefully listened to his suggestions on vocal delivery and even invited her sister, Ouyang Nana, to provide cello accompaniment, adding emotional depth to the performance. This respect for music and thoughtfulness toward her collaborator gradually helped Liu Yuning lower his guard. More importantly, Ouyang Didi never tried to ingratiate herself deliberately. Instead, she won him over with genuine admiration. During a game segment, Liu Yuning became emotionally worked up after being mistakenly labeled the villain, and the atmosphere grew tense. Just then Ouyang Didi blurted out, "Because you're too handsome, okay?" The room instantly burst into laughter. Liu Yuning froze for a second, then laughed so hard he squatted down, his ears turning red. Cameras even caught this rare moment of shyness. It was precisely this unscripted, straight-to-the-point praise that became the key to persuading him. In interviews, Liu Yuning has admitted that coming from a grassroots background, what he cherishes most is sincere recognition. Ouyang Didi's compliments weren't exaggerated or formulaic. They were specific and vivid, praising his long legs as 2.8 meters long, enough to make villains feel inferior, calling him an all-rounder who excels in singing, acting, and variety shows, and even jokingly suggesting he try stand-up comedy. Light-hearted as they sounded, these words hit the soft spot of Liu Yuning's desire to be truly seen and understood. At the filming of the cute dance, Ouyang Didi once again showed her high EQ gentle persuasion. Instead of directly asking Liu Yuning to join, she danced first herself, laughing as she said, "If you don't dance, I'll sing Love Like Fire in your ear every day." Faced with such absurd yet adorable threats, Liu Yuning could only shake his head helplessly before smiling and joining in. There was no coercion, just playful banter and mutual trust. After the video was released, netizens joked, "This isn't persuasion, it's taming," and done with dangerously high sweetness. Even more interestingly, Liu Yuning later revealed his own contrast cute side. He proactively helped Ouyang Didi carry bags and pass water, subtly went easy on her during games, and even spoke up to defend her when she was teased. This shift from tough guy to softy shows that he was never truly unapproachable. He just needed someone who could help him let his guard down. And Ouyang Didi did exactly that, using sincerity, humor, and perfectly timed rainbow compliments to open the door. What looks like a simple act of persuasion actually highlights what audiences crave most in variety shows today: authenticity. In an environment flooded with scripts and manufactured personas, the interaction between Liu Yuning and Ouyang Didi feels moving precisely because it's spontaneous, unpolished, and warm. There's no forced conflict, no deliberate CP building. Just two very different people naturally growing closer on the basis of mutual respect. Perhaps Ouyang Didi didn't use any sophisticated techniques at all. She simply stayed true to herself, expressing fondness sincerely, offering praise bravely, and dissolving tension with laughter. And it was this authenticity that made Liu Yuning willing to shed the top star armor and reveal the ordinary man who blushes, laughs foolishly, and can be made happy for an entire day by a single line, "You're too handsome." That, ultimately, is why audiences love them. In the dazzling chaos of the entertainment industry, interactions like these feel like a breath of fresh air, reminding us that sincerity still has power. How did Ouyang Didi win over Liu Yuning? A story of sincerity, softness, and quiet affection. At first glance, no one expected Liu Yuning and Ouyang Didi to become one of the most talked about pairings in a recent hit variety show. One is known for his towering presence, husky voice, and a life story forged through struggle and perseverance. The other radiates youthful energy, warmth, and an almost contagious joy for life. Yet it was precisely this contrast that made their interactions feel so tender and so unforgettable. Their collaboration began with the song Portrait, a performance filled with restrained emotion and delicate balance. On stage, their voices intertwined naturally, neither overpowering the other. Off stage, however, something even more charming unfolded. A short video of them doing a cute acting dance. In it, Liu Yuning, usually calm, serious, and slightly distant, awkwardly followed Ouyang Didi's playful moves, smiling despite himself. The internet erupted with one question. How did Ouyang Didi possibly persuade Liu Yuning to do this? The answer, as it turns out, wasn't persuasion at all. It was connection. From guarded distance to gentle trust. Liu Yuning has always been someone who carries himself with restraint. Growing up with little, singing on the streets, and climbing his way into the spotlight taught him to be cautious. He trusts slowly, speaks carefully, and rarely allows himself to look foolish, especially on variety shows, where exaggerated behavior is often expected. Ouyang Didi sensed this from the beginning. Instead of pushing him into funny moments, she chose a softer path. During rehearsals, she truly listened to his musical ideas. She asked questions, respected his experience, and treated him not as a variety show guest, but as a musician she admired. When she invited her sister Ouyang Nana to add cello accompaniment to Portrait, it wasn't for spectacle. It was to deepen the emotion of the song, something Liu Yuning values deeply. That respect quietly melted his defenses. Sweet words spoken without a script. What truly changed the dynamic were Ouyang Didi's words, simple, spontaneous, and disarmingly sincere. During a game segment, Liu Yuning was mistakenly labeled the villain, and his frustration surfaced. The atmosphere stiffened. No one knew how to ease it, until Ouyang Didi, without thinking twice, laughed and said, "That's only because you're too handsome, okay?" It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't calculated. It was pure instinct. Liu Yuning froze. Then he laughed hard. He crouched down, unable to hide his embarrassment, his ears turning visibly red. In that moment, viewers didn't see a top star. They saw a man who wasn't used to being praised so directly, so warmly. And that was the magic. Liu Yuning has said before that what moves him most isn't flattery, but being genuinely seen. Ouyang Didi's compliments were never vague. She praised him with detail and imagination, joking about his impossibly long legs, calling him an all-round talent, even teasing that he'd be perfect for stand-up comedy. Each compliment carried laughter but also truth. They landed softly and stayed. The cute dance that said everything. When it came time to film the now-viral cute dance, Ouyang Didi didn't ask Liu Yuning to join her. She didn't pressure him or put him on the spot. Instead, she danced first, laughing at herself, moving without grace but full of joy. Then she turned to him and said, half-jokingly, "If you don't dance with me, I'll sing Love Like Fire in your ear every day." It was silly, childish, sweet. Liu Yuning sighed, shook his head, and smiled. And then he joined her. That moment didn't feel like compromise. Felt like trust. A quiet softness in return. After that, something shifted. Liu Yuning began to show a gentler side, almost unconsciously. He carried bags for Ouyang Didi, handed her water, protected her during games, and stepped in when others teased her too much. These gestures weren't loud or showy, but they were consistent. They spoke of care. Fans noticed. Not because the show tried to sell a storyline, but because the warmth was natural. It felt like watching two people slowly learn each other's rhythms. One careful, one bright, meeting in the middle. Why this story feels so sweet? In a world of overproduced variety shows and carefully crafted personas, the bond between Liu Yuning and Ouyang Didi feels refreshingly real. There's no forced chemistry, no exaggerated drama. Just sincerity, respect, and moments that happen because they're genuine. Ouyang Didi didn't change Liu Yuning. She simply made him feel safe enough to be himself. And Liu Yuning didn't become softer because he was persuaded. He softened because he was met with warmth. That's why their interactions linger in the hearts of viewers. They remind us that sometimes the sweetest connections aren't built through effort or strategy, but through honest admiration, shared laughter, and the courage to be kind. In the end, this wasn't a story about convincing someone to dance. It was a story about how sincerity can quietly unlock a guarded heart, and how, in that space, something tender can grow.